Hello everyone and welcome back to Krastorio 2. This is Otaku's Showboat. Today, we will be continuing with building out a copper smelting array. If you have been enjoying this series thus far, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. You can, of course, support me on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and capable. Last time, I set up the iron mining and smelting array and designed a smelting array for Krastorio because it has a different ratio compared to vanilla, the base game. And I use loaders because I like loaders and they're great. They don't have a weakness of having a swing speed associated with them. So today I am doing the exact same thing here at the beginning of building out this smelting array for the copper and getting the coal into this array. That is the goal, is to set all this up, and then we will begin our bus. Now, that being said, with the bus, there are a few things to also consider. I need the wood on the bus, I need stone on the bus, as well as stone bricks on the bus. Do I have enough stone furnaces on me? I do not. I need at least 48 stone furnaces, so I'm going to grab another set of those. Oh boy. Oh, and I could also free up some inventory by getting rid of some of those stone bricks, but I'm going to use them. Those are going to get used. Those stone bricks. And yes, I do understand that as I expand on my copper stuff, if I want more copper than just a singular yellow belt of it, that as I expand up here, I will be expanding this direction with these, and I should probably actually have built this more here to give myself a little bit more space, but this isn't going to be a final permanent thing, especially since there's that copper, which is unfortunately in the way of where the bus is going to go, unless I take the bus the opposite direction. I might take the bus the opposite direction and tap into these, where there's a coal next to a copper, tap into this and load it on trains and bring it over to here. Grand scheme of things. Having a copper and iron next to each other are nice, but I need coal as well if I want to do smelting. And this is where we can actually talk a little bit about designing of trains and all of that, and what to do with the trains on something a little bit more vanilla-like. There is the concept of doing all of your smelting locally, where you're doing your mining. And there's a concept of doing your mining, loading all of the ore onto trains, and then doing your smelting at some more centralized smelting array. And there is the concept of doing that, but instead of having a dedicated smelting array somewhere, that you then load the iron or whatever, your plates onto trains that then go off to distribute to other places. Doing it all local, where you actually need the stuff. So bring in iron ore, smelting to iron plates, and then spending the iron plates on what you're making at that particular factory that you're designing. So a few ways of designing things. I think for this particular build, because I haven't built in that particular way before, I want to try out building the dedicated factory setup where I have iron going in, iron and copper going into a dedicated electronics factory, for example, and I have enough iron going into that electronics factory. It's smelting the exact amount of stuff that I need, right? Where it's smelting all of the stuff that I need, and that I don't have to think as much about how much ore I have, more so the amount of smelting that I have in that area to supply my production. Oops. I think that's going to be what I end up doing, especially since I am using Train Supply Manager. I am using Train Supply Manager in this particular playthrough. No, I have not added nanobots. Nor will I guess, at this point. That has been determined for me, that I will not be using nanobots on this particular playthrough. You're not actually connected to power. Oops. But pretty sure I do have Train Supply Manager on here, so I will make fantastic use of all of that. All of that capability. Which, yeah, that means I can set up many supplies depots for the actual ore. And I will use trains to move ore across the base rather than move plates. Now, it is... The setup currently is such that the ratio of ore to plates is, 2 ore per plate. So plates are more dense, but in practice with maps that I've played of Factorio, just in general, mostly Pie Suite, I've not really had cargo density be much of an issue, especially with this set to store 400 stack size of stuff. I'm not concerned about the theoretical max throughput of a single train like that, or of the cargo wagons. I don't care. I've not cared about needing multiple trains. This needs to be set to copper. Copper everywhere for you. So there's our yellow belt of copper. We have a yellow belt of iron, and we have a yellow belt of copper. Now to define how we're building our boss, as the tech just went through. What are we going to do with the bus? I had initially been talking about having the bus down here and going to the right. But because I see this copper over here near this coal, that's that's so tempting. It's so tempting. It's a really good copper patch. 3.7 billion copper on that copper patch, just like this one's 3.2 billion iron ore. That's giga. G is billion. Yeah, I would like to tap this one. If at all possible, even though I'm going to do separate smelting. Yes, separate smelting will require some sort of a fuel source to do so on site where I'm doing these things, but for now. But I will eventually get electric means of smelting that will come in handy. What side of the bus am I going to be building on is the first question, as well as how big of a bus do I need? Well, since I'm not too experienced with this mod at this point, I don't know how big of a bus I'm going to need, so I'm going to do something very similar to what I set up with the Pie Suite, which is what I would consider a worst-case scenario. Let's think about this in the form of a worst case scenario. I'm also going to build on the top of this bus, and I'm going to start this bus right here. And this is where I'm going to build, and this is why I have these stone bricks. So, you see how this is a gap of 4, right? This is going to be 6. 6? Do I want it 6? Hold up. I want this. as a thingy, and I am going to keep this gap here. I am going to keep this gap here. I want something that looks decently nice, okay? This is going to be a sidewalk. This is my sidewalk. There are various terms for this type of a setup, for this path. There are certain people who refer to this path in very specific ways. I will refer to it as a sidewalk. That is what this is. This is a sidewalk. It is next to and beside my bus. And I'm going to use all of my stone brick to just walk down this bus about as far as I think that this bus is going to last. Or until I run out. There we go. I have run out of stuff. Ideally, we'll see how much of this I use in the end. But yeah, get rid of all these trees and things that are on my path, on my sidewalk, my beautiful, wonderful stone brick sidewalk. So, stone brick, by the way, I want to use as a path just because it gives you a walking speed boost. That is the number one most important thing that is done out of this, is it gives you a walking speed bonus. And I will clear out some of these trees. I unfortunately have trees in my way. And it is at this point where I'm thinking, I should take military. I should pick up military tech and start making some grenades. And get, like, the explosion damage upgrades for those grenades to clear out forest more easily. Because that's the one problem about the tree setting. It's like, okay, I need wood at the beginning of the game, but I don't want to hunt for wood for the beginning of the game for like hours. I don't want to hunt for hours for wood. So there's the trade-off there. It's like, do I want a lot of available forests to chop down for the initial wood that I need at the start of the game? Or do I reduce the number of trees that I have to deal with throughout the entirety of the rest of the game once I automate my wood? That is always a thing to consider. So how many is that? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 40 lanes. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 60 lanes. That should be safe, right? That should be safe. And then 2 down is going to be sets of this stuff for any fluids that I need. I have no idea how many fluids I'm going to have to deal with on the main bus. But there's my setup and my spacing for those. So going forward, it's just copy paste down the line, keeping the max distance spacing, keeping them all aligned. Oh boy, overkill. Making that very clear. This is overkill, and then right below this is likely train tracks. In fact, what I'll probably do, if I don't need all of this, I'll integrate trains as part of this, and maybe even another path in place of one of these for like vehicle travel. Just so we're aware and all on the same page for this. Okay, now, what is going to be what? This is going to be iron. This is going to be copper. Do I need 4 lanes of these? I don't know. And that's the trick. I don't know how much I'm going to need before trains, and then after trains. And as I set up individual bases, basically, once I have trains. So what I'm going to do is this is going to be sets of two for the iron and for the copper for now. I'll have one line of steel, I guess, and then if there's some other steel type thing, I'll have that too. Other intermediates are going to exist down below. There'll be things for circuits in here. Remember what I said about the dedicated factory stuff for like circuits and things? Making sure I have the dedicated iron and copper into those things. I am not particularly a fan of doing circuits on a main bus. And the reason for that is like, okay, if I want a belt of green circuits, right? That's going to use up entire belts of copper and iron in order to make that belt of green circuits. So it's like, okay, I've now terminated a couple of belts of this other stuff to make this belt of this stuff. Could I not have done that not on this bus and just put that single line of the circuits onto the bus and saved the other two lanes of the iron and copper that I've now spent to make those circuits, those green circuits. The like default vanilla green circuit recipe, I think, is one belt of each to one belt out, something along those lines. It's been a long time since I've done vanilla. It's been a really, really long time. I need to enable disabled to be able to see all of the everything. So in this case, for this mod, we've got wood, iron, and copper. So if I want like 15 out of electronic circuits, basic green circuits, it's actually half of a belt of iron plates, and one full belt of copper plates, right? And half a belt of wood. So it's like, okay, well, so much for having a belt of copper. Like, I'm trading a belt of copper for a belt of electronic circuits if I'm trying to do this on my main bus, right? Like, that's totally a thing. If I'm trading one for the other, essentially. I need more belt. I need a lot more belt than this. And of course, like, the first things we're going to be making on our main bus is stuff that I have being made over here. Oh yeah, probably should automate the production of greenhouses too at some point, right? That would be ideal. So lots of thought experiments and just different ways of doing things to consider when designing bases. Just in general, in Factorio, different ways of thinking, different styles, shall we say, of building. Like, I don't see as much of a point. Like, why use main bus in first place? Like, that's sort of thing. It's like, okay, there's a good reason to use a main bus. It's good to have. It's hard to feed properly, and it can get very unwieldy and become a very big infrastructure expense in terms of belts and underground belts and all of that, depending on how much stuff you have on it. But it's sort of superfluous after trains. It's near enough superfluous after you do have trains. I prefer distributed system without using main bus once I do get access to trains. So that's basically where we're going to terminate our main bus in this, is when I get access to glorious things. Yes, glorious things. Wonderful, beautiful, glorious things. How many assembling machines? 0. Grand total 0. I have 50 of them stored. I would like to have those. That would be great. And now I need to transition all of this to the bus. Essentially. All of this needs to be transitioned to the bus. That will be a glorious thing to do. I do, however, need wood, of course, on that bus. I mentioned that I would reverse this belt. Maybe I should just make more greenhouses. That would be another idea. Unfortunately, I don't have the glass, like, out and about to do stuff with. Is there a convenient source of stone? Not as convenient. Way over there. That's, like, closest source of bigger stone. I can get rid of this now. We're going to be doing much, much, much better things with our space. I need to get rid of all of this. Oh, hey, stuff. Same thing with the glass. Like, it's that same argument, by the way, with the glass. It's like, okay, the crushers are going to consume a certain amount of stone per second to make the glass. It's like, is there a reason to have both to do this from stone on the main bus? Like, is there a reason to do this on the main bus? Taking up space on my main bus? Usually the answer for me is going to be hell no. Hell no. And as for you, it's the same as a normal thingy, right? 30. Yeah, it is the same. But we don't have enough space. We barely have enough space for 30 on here. That's 12. Oh god. That legit is 10. Ahem. That legit is 10. That is 20. And that's 30. Although that's like 54k. That's not gonna last a long time. Although, like, I got 30 fitting in there. Does that middle one? Yes, that middle one absolutely has power. Oh, and, oh, right, of course, I need to be sure that that stuff has power. Yeah, so there's this thing that you can do to reduce the amount of space. And that is to put the power poles in between, like that. And I will have to do the same thing here. I don't have to do this here, though. I can just run that up. And conveniently, let's put it this way, conveniently, we have 3 sets of 5 per second. And as it turns out, I need stone, stone bricks, and glass. So, yeah, how convenient that we've managed to split this into 3 without needing to use splitters. That is great. That is great. Now, question, of course, as always, how are we gonna get our stuff going? Unfortunately, I need to, like, use Helmod to get this accurate stuff. I know we haven't talked a lot about Helmod yet. Oh, there's glass right there. But yeah, I have a tutorial that I have recorded for Helmod that we can talk a bit about. A tutorial that I completely didn't mention has pins as a feature with summary that tells you how many buildings and what the types of buildings are that are part of your production block that you've pinned. Yeah, I need ingredient input and need 5, so that'll give me 6.3. All right, it's less than a lane, which I guess is okay. 12.5 though of sand. Wow. 13 stone furnaces needs 2. 2. Sure. 2. That's the basic inventory size. The movement speed is always nice, as is mining speed, as is lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. I like stuff. Stuff is great. Crafting speed, not as important anymore. Optics is decent. I want grenades. I would really like grenades, but I don't get grenades yet. I don't get grenades until green science. That is suck. That is suck. I are angry. That is suck. Wow. Hmm. Alright then. Well, this will at least give me something. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna get the tech cards and such. I don't have creep as a mechanic, but I have a setting set that should allow me to actually get research data. Yeah, without having to kill things. So I don't need the creep so much. And I don't really need to go through this mechanic as much, or I'm able to get into this mechanic without needing to kill fighters. That's the main point of that setting, startup setting for Krastorio. Well, alright then, if I can't have that, I would like lights, I guess, and the ability to make the sentinels. Those guys are fairly cheap. It is glass though, but hey, we're about to have automated glass, and then I'll have radars that I can think about as well. So this is what I wanted here. Pin that. 13 though. Stone furnaces. Like, what? How? How does one 13? How does one 13 stone furnaces? That's 7. That's 7. I need 6 more. 6 additional ones. Like, sure, I could above, but I mean, I'm thinking about. I'm just trying to think about throughput. It's not gonna direct insert. Just not even. Don't even think about it. It's just not happening. You'll go there. You'll go there. So, like, obviously this means loaders need to be a thing that I use, and I'll need 13. This is 12 and a half. Where do I want to actually do this? I'll do this down below. Place the thing. I got a tech. Yay. Hey, how convenient that I have that stuff there. I will grab you, and I'll grab 14 of you. And I'll go ahead and place them over here. This will be fine. Just like so. Grab that, I guess, but I mean, it's just one's gonna go that way. This is more traditional style. And it's gonna have the coal from above. Oh, right, it should be split, because I need another one of these, like right next door. Yay, basic inventory size happening. It's happening! Yay! We're gonna have more inventory shortly. Holy crap, it's been 29 minutes? What? No. No! How? How has it already been 29 minutes? What? What? Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, stone brick. I want to know on ingredient input how much stuff I need. 8. I only need 8. So if that's 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, there we go. I'm gonna build this and I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, that's what we'll that's what we'll do, and that's how we'll end it, is I will be turning these things on. I won't be routing them to the anything at this point, but yeah, we'll manage. We'll not be routing them to the bus yet. There we go. Oops. Okay, this needs to be glass. And this needs to be stone brick. I need the power poles still. Come on, reach! Down. Excuse me? Oh, that was iron. Lol. Glass. Glass, yes, be free. Be free, my glass. Do the stuff and the things. Up we go. You there. You can be that. And then, of course, I need actual stone as well. Oh boy. Yes, isn't it great? All these mechanics. Mechanics are awesome, right? I like mechanics. Mechanics are great. You, I guess, can end up going down that way. That'll be that stuff. Let's align it just for alignment's sake. And load into boxes. Huzzah! We did the thing. We did the thing. That's all that taken care of. I've got stone brick, as well as glass. The stone brick is, by the way, half the amount out. So that much I knew is 2.5. It's just how many furnaces do I need to do that? We have split our stone production into three even slices here with these. Now, how much power am I using? About half of what I can produce. That's pretty much as expected. Pretty much as expected. And now I can go ahead and I can start making a lot more greenhouses and put those on the main bus as well. Our main bus has begun. And hey, I just got more inventory space. Yay! Yay, celebrations, all that good stuff. Give me crafting speed and whatever. Just techs are moving. So what did we get done today? Over the course of this particular stream. Today, I built out the actual infrastructure to get a yellow belt of copper. I have built that out, and I've apparently not connected it to the main bus quite yet. We can do that while I am discussing the fact that I also have planned out the place that the main bus is going to live. We also had a brief discussion about what our train setup is going to be like, what it'll start to look like, what factory setups I'm going to do in the grand scheme of things. And from there, after figuring all that out, putting down some initial infrastructure to define where the main bus is going to live, how it's going to live, where we're building our stuff at on here. After doing all of that, I have moved on to mining stone. I have begun actual true real mining of the stone and have started processing into sand. I will need sand as well. So another thing to have to consider, I will also be needing additional sand than just this. Oh god, that's lanes and lanes and lanes and lanes of stuff and things. It's like, oh, I need sand too. Oh God, where am I gonna get the stone for that? It's down here, and I guess I'm going to be doing it without a train. Just down here, sand, stone, more glass, more sand, more stone bricks. Just go up and merchant over. But yeah. Anyway, with all of that said and done, I would very much like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you have been enjoying this series thus far, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/otakushowboat and support me on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and able. I will, of course, see you all on the next one.